So 2 weeks ago, now I have to do my apology. Do my apology. 2 weeks ago, I muted the track for our music.
Oh, yep.
On the export, and then last week I used a defunct SD card, which it kept going in and out. And then when I went to go load the footage was completely not there. So then we restocked on all new SD cards. That was my fault. At least the audio came out good, but
I mean, you're not a producer by trade. So.
That's 2 weeks in a row that we're working on it.
I mean, like I said, I literally just show up, so I can't.
Well, but you do the audio on the Anchor side, or I don't know if you're using Anchor or
Well, now it's Spotify for podcasters. I'm assuming Spotify bought them.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I do appreciate that because on that's a big help in itself.
I just upload it.
But it's like one less thing.
Yeah, true. That's fair.
But I mean, I've had that problem one time. Like I'd rather have good audio than to have the good video, because one time we had good video. On the other one we had good video and we had no audio. But anyway, I fingers crossed that we're getting this going.
So far so good. It looks okay.
Okay. Hopefully it sounds good. I mean, the SD card is in.
I can hear myself pretty good. I'm trying to do a better job of making sure I talk into the microphone, because I have a bad habit of
pushing back. Yeah. And honestly, like if I got the stands, we could kind of move them around. I
should bring mine from home, because when Jess does her show, she has her clamped on the desk.
Well, I do have the clamps, but I've gotten feedback on the other one that even the ones on the clamps on the table can still create some of
interesting
a buzz. So it's like if you get them on the floor,
yeah,
it's supposed to work out a little bit better. I did horrible with my picks. We're not going to start with Thursday night because obviously at this point we know that we saved the best for last, we saved the worst for last.
2 weeks running. Although your game the week before wasn't so bad, but of all the years to record this show, they were good. They were good. They were good to decent, great to semi-decent for 25 years, and this is the year. Like, hey, you want to record a show?
This is part of my master plan.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, overall, we'll start with the 9:30, the London game, but I did horrible on my picks so far.
I rallied in the second the afternoon games into the night, so I started 2-5, I think, were my picks.
Yep,
and then I rallied to finish 8-5.
Oh, well, all right, so that's a good rally.
Hopefully, if Monday night goes well, I can finish 9-5 and I got to stop getting cute with my picks. We'll get to it when we get to the game, but. But yeah, the line. So yeah, I won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I won like 7. Yeah, geez, I was happy with 2 of my picks. I'm pretty happy with, because I know if you're listening back, I was a little questioning on them, but yeah, it worked out well.
I started 0-4, and then right now I'm 6-7. So if Green Bay pulls it out tonight, I'll at least go 500.
There you go.
After starting 0-4, I was like, oh man,
yeah.
I really messed up. So I guess we'll just get right into we'll save the Thursday night game for later.
The week that was.
I know I need like, I got a surprise for you.
Money pick. I'm looking forward to it.
I need like for the different segments, we'll have different ones. So yeah, like the week that was, the first game was the London game. I drank the Bills Kool-Aid. I should have known better. You went with Jacksonville, and when I saw it was 11-0, I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah. It was, I mean, I feel like my thought process was pretty sound, where they were there. I mean, they're 7 hours ahead of us?
And they had been there for
they'd been there all week long.
At least a week.
Yeah, so it was an away game.
Which makes no sense.
Right. Yeah. So they traveled from London to London, I guess. Excuse me. And the Bills looked sloppy all throughout, and you could tell that they were just like behind the 8 ball the entire time. Never really looked that good. I don't think the Jags looked that good either.
No,
they were just they were the fresher team, and I mean, shout out NFL, I guess, for like scheduling them 2 weeks in a row.
I mean, but then what's going to happen is, as they got an advantage in this game because they had been there for at least, whatever day they traveled in for last week's game, they had been there for at least over a week. Now, when they come back next week, that's where the disadvantage comes, unless they're on a bye.
Which they might be. That'd be hilarious.
It would be hilarious because they got an advantage this week, I think, even against a good team. Mm-hmm. But I think coming back after being acclimated for over a week, that's going to be tough.
It could hurt them. It could hurt them for sure.
Yeah, so that was a loss on my end. You picked the Jags, a great pick. I drank the Kool-Aid. I didn't take into the consideration that they were going to be in London for 2 weeks.
Yep,
It's their second home.
Yep.
So that was that one.
Now, the one thing that came out of that game, and I heard a lot of complaints, was more complaints about the turf. Turf, for the Bills are complaining about it.
Yep.
It's funny because that was the Tottenham Hotspur stadium, of the Premier League, the English Premier League, and they actually play on natural grass, and they take the grass out to put in the fake turf stuff that people have been complaining about forever. I'm a proponent of the real grass stuff. I mean, the one thing is the NFL always says safety, but they don't follow through on that stuff because studies show, at least few of them, we can look them up and post them and stuff, that natural grass is just better.
Right.
But I think a lot of these guys, some of these guys are just like, their legs are so powerful. They just take the hardest steps ever and something pops. You see it all the time. But, you see it, MetLife is is notorious now for all the injuries, and you saw with Aaron Rodgers too.
Right.
So curious to see how that goes into the future. The Patriots have this synthetic stuff too. They don't have the real grass. I wish they did, but whatever.
I do like the grass better. I just feel like, I know as ugly as it gets late in the season because it gets so torn up. It's just like that's the game.
Do you remember AstroTurf?
I do.
The
the rug burns that everybody used to get.
I for some reason I distinctly remember a Michael Irvin rug burn all up his arm. I just remember thinking as a child, why are they playing on that?
I know.
It's wild.
The AstroTurf, the Cowboys had it, and
AstroTurf,
it's just fucking rug burn like crazy. But I like the grass better. It should be played on grass.
Yeah,
well,
agreed.
Let me double check. I'm pretty sure I picked the Texans because I think this is where I failed, and this was
I'm pretty sure you did because they're
a sour point for you.
Yeah, because I took my So this is my second week in a row where my Mo's money pick came down to the last play of the game, and they lost. They took the lead with a minute 50 left, and then I didn't see the drive, but the Falcons immediately drove down the field and kicked the game-winning field goal like 26 yards. They were winning by 1. The Texans, they went for 2. When if they hit the 2, they would have been up 3, and it wouldn't have been so bad. I probably still had a shot to make my money pick, and they failed. So yeah, the Texans screwed me on that one. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you picked them. I guess I'm getting cute with my picks. I really do.
But so far, you have a better record this week than I do. That might have been a little bit, but also I was definitely drinking the Kool-Aid of the Texans because I'm like, man, they got something like under the radar completely.
Yeah, they still played pretty. I mean, considering where they were picking first overall, they're still playing pretty well.
Right.
And I think Ritter had a little bit better game. Pitts finally had a bit of a pretty good game.
7 for 87.
Yeah, I actually made a trade in fantasy. I traded Goddard, who's now my backup tight end, for Pitts. Kind of like trash for trash because I was pissed off at Goddard and my cousin was pissed off at Pitts, and neither of us wanted to watch either of them anymore. So we traded them 1 for 1, and they both had their best games. Goddard had a really good game. Yep. I had Laporta on the bench who I slotted in, and he had 2 touchdowns, so it worked out pretty well.
I have Goddard in one league, and he hasn't done anything. I'm not sure if I started him this week, but that's funny because you the last 2 weeks have talked so much shit about Kyle Pitts. And now you had him in 7 for 87. Did pretty well.
Now he'll sit on my bench. Maybe I can trade him for a bag of balls or something. We'll see.
There you go. I was really also rooting for the Texans because I was trying to Washington has to go to Atlanta. So I was hoping get them on a loss.
Yeah.
But now,
although this might be better. They're smelling themselves.
3-0 at home. I'm not sure if Washington's at home for that. I know they're 4 of their next 5 games are on the road.
That's rough.
So, but they've also played dog shit.
Yeah.
The last 2 home games. So
yeah, true.
We'll see. Excuse me.
The highlights are up right now of the Yeah, Ritter blah, 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 actually played pretty well.
I'm worried about that game. We'll get into it, but I'm worried about it. The Lions are the real deal, man.
Yeah, they are.
They are the fucking real. I mean, granted, the Panthers are probably the worst team in the league. I mean, at least record-wise, they're the worst team in the league. But they still, the Lions are still
Yeah, the Panthers have fought pretty well, but yeah, the Lions just kind of stomped on them. The Lions should be undefeated. If Goff doesn't throw that pick 6 week 2, they are. They're the real deal. It's actually it's a bizarro world where they're playing so well and the Patriots are playing so bad. But hey, what's the offensive coordinator's name? He's all the hotness, Ben.
for
the Lions.
The Lions.
He turned down Ben Johnson. He turned down like head coaching interviews because he thought they were building something in Detroit. He could be right, but he's going to be a very hot ticket for the head coaching market next year. So keep an eye on that name for sure.
That's one of the risks when you have a good team and you start. Well, you lose all your fucking coordinators.
The brain drain, and I'll touch on that a little bit later with our.
But this is one of those teams where, like, I know they're in the NFC, and like, I don't really want to see, like, I really don't give a shit about other teams doing well, but it's also like you kind of root for the Lions a little bit. Yeah,
for sure, I am.
Like, they just
do well.
If it's not Washington, I don't mind seeing it. Like, especially a team like Detroit. Why not? Because they've been very similar in some regard to Washington. They've been very unsuccessful. So if Washington doesn't do it, I'd rather see a team like Detroit rather than fucking Dallas or these teams that have won.
Right.
Not that Dallas wins, but like Philly and the Niners and the Rams and shit. Like I'd rather see a team like that.
I enjoy. I think the NFL is healthier when these kind of teams are doing well. Like when Kansas City first started getting pretty good, now it's kind of annoying, but I get it. You like to see those teams get elevated, elevates the league, and then I like to see fans have fun and enjoy their team.
Right.
But I don't want to see like crushing heartbreak all the time.
I know.
I guess rivalries aren't even a thing anymore, in my opinion. Like, yeah, sure, there's division rivalries and whatever, but they're all buddies.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, even after the Atlanta game, I saw the end, I saw the field goal and everything, and the guys from the Texans, they're dapping each other up, laughing, and I'm like,
palling around.
While I think it's cool, I also want that, like,
like
I want you to be mad. I want you to be fucking mad.
Aaron Judge or David Ortiz, I forget which one. One of them went to the others. David Ortiz went to the others like bowling charity event, which is good for it's great for charity.
Oh yeah, and people ripped them.
Yeah, it's like they're all pals. Yeah, it's not a thing anymore. You're not going to see those like bench clearing brawls we used to see, like the ALCS and stuff. This is not happening with Pedro throwing what's his name to the ground. This is not happening anymore. Yeah,
not so much, but yeah, it is good, especially with these smaller market teams. I don't know. I sort of root for them. I think a lot of like people at least what I think people do.
Yeah.
Especially my friends that are Patriots fans. I think they low key like want Washington to do well. just for my sake.
I mean,
that's the vibe I get.
For sure. Yeah. I definitely root for their success. I want you to be happy. And also my father-in-law is a fan. So there's that too,
right?
He grew up in Virginia, so he adopted the Patriots when he moved up here. But he still watches both. And I asked Jess, I was like, what's he do for the Patriots Commanders game? She's like, he loves those games because he's happy either way. But yeah, he watched. They were on vacation this week, and he was watching the Thursday night game down in North Carolina. So but yeah, I definitely root for their success. I want them to do well, and I want I want Cheese to enjoy the Jets. I want my other friend Chris, who's on a fantasy league, to enjoy it. Like I don't want to be bummed all the time.
I know. So what? It's tough when you you just kind of get used to it. That's why I sent you that GIF. I said, "Welcome to hell."
Yeah. Well, it's funny too because you see with a lot of these teams, and going back to the baseball and the Red Sox, they didn't win for 86 years, and the fans were more loyal than ever, than any team, any fan base out there. Now they've won a couple times. Now all I hear is like, I'm never gonna watch them ever again because of whatever product they're putting on the field. I'm like, okay, what happened? He's like, it's weird. I don't know. I
will say that I've heard that with the Patriots too.
Yeah,
when
thing.
Brady left, and like now it's like. Yeah. That's where you're going to see who's in, who's not. Right. Because you got to ride with them now. And but I've seen people like, we had our run, it's okay. Like,
so
what?
Strange. And with football, it's like it's such a, it's a weekly event sport. It's once a week, and it sucks. You sit. That's your 1, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour block a week where you get to sit down and hopefully see a good product on the field. Doesn't always happen, but yeah, it's definitely new for some people. So we'll see. I mean, the Patriots, they weren't, obviously running up to. They had 76. They had a good team. They probably should have. It's funny because we haven't got the Tuck rule is revenge for the 1976 AFC divisional playoff game. Look it up.
Yep.
Roughing the passer. Yep. And it was funny because you talk about roughing the passer all the time now, but look at that one in 1976.
Yep.
And they had that good team. They had the run in 85, which was magical and probably stopped Dan Marino from winning a Super Bowl because they're the only team that beat the Bears that year. That won 15-1 was the Dolphins, and the Patriots beat them in the playoffs.
Yep.
And then. And obviously they were bad in 96, and then Brady showed up. But ever since Kraft bought the team, they have never They've sold out every home game since then, ever since Kraft bought them.
Yeah.
And I think they'll continue, but the prices are just outrageous. It's wild. It's wild. You could probably do a whole like dissertation on like sports fandom and winning and losing and all that stuff.
Well, once the season's over, we continue this, and we'll have like different topics. And
This is that's actually a good idea. I like that. Yeah.
Next game, let me make sure. Yeah, I picked Indy.
Yeah, that was a good one you had. Yeah, I picked the Titans. Silly me.
You're going to cool down a little bit on Tannehill. I will say though, we were texting about this. I fucking hate the rookies getting hurt.
Yeah,
but it's a different game because again, I think in college you can run more and you can stand up run more. You don't have to slide in college. You can get through.
Yep.
It's not like that in the pros.
No.
And Richardson's out. They said AC joint. I don't know how long.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Probably at least a month. That's the same thing Jimmy G had.
Yeah,
a couple of years when the Brady year he got suspended. He was out for I think a month. Although he was his backup when Brady came back, so it didn't matter. But I think it's about a month. But that's 3 games he's played in out of 5, and that's 3 different injuries he's received: a concussion, whatever it was, week 1. That might have been the concussion. Even after the first week, Taylor Lawrence. Did I say that right?
Who?
Jags quarterback
Trevor Lawrence.
Why am I saying Taylor? He told him to protect himself.
Yeah,
he's not listening because, like you said, linebackers. The size of linebackers in college is a lot different than the size of linebackers.
Yeah.
And like they're bigger, but they're still faster. And it was just it looked like a regular hit, but you get blasted by a dude that's 250. You know,
you're not as sturdy as your running backs that can take those hits, or even your wideouts.
And there's a reason why running backs are played for 4 years and then are out of the league because they take so much punishment. And it's just silly. I made the joke my first week. Oh, he'll be out week 5 until he gets his injury week 5. I didn't think he'd get 3 injuries in 3 weeks. It's not like he's re-injuring a nagging injury. He's just getting brand new. It's not going to stop.
That one was painful because I think I was watching a highlight and I didn't even know he was hurt. When I saw that play, I go, oh, that didn't look. Yeah. And it just looked like a normal play. But I'm like, as a quarterback, that just and then sure as shit he hurt his shoulder.
And that's the same injury that Gonzo had, Gonzalez for the Patriots, the AC joint, because he just landed it just landed just right. And but Gonzalez is out for, it's weird. Well, I mean, it's different for I think quarterback and cornerback, but he's out for the year. He must have hurt it more
pretty
severely.
Bad because even Carr had it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you're right.
And he came back the next week. So, but you know what though? It also highlights investing in your backup quarterback because they had Gardner Minshew, and Minshew came in 2-3 different times, and he's solid. He can win you games clearly.
Yeah, you only need a quarter. Yeah. You see, the backup quarterback has to just keep you afloat for sure.
That's it. I think this was an easy one. Dolphins over the Giants. So far, it holds true on the. We got clarification on Jess's hot take for last week that the implosion was more so that they would look good against bad teams and they would look like shit against good teams. And honestly, the beating could have been worse because that play we were talking about was Tyreek went all the way down. It was a big play, and then all I could think was like, I don't know if he just had like the speed wobbles. He just couldn't stay up. And he's like laughing kind of like, because it was just a big play and he knew he like kind of ran out of steam at the end. Yep. And I'm like, that's a risk because he almost had the touchdown. And I always think like, as close as you're getting, you never know. Right. You have to try to get in. And I'm sure he did. But like, then what happened was a pick, 102 yards, pick 6 and 31-16, but it could have been worse.
Yeah. Anything. Yep. You're right. Yeah, and Daniel Jones got hurt. It's funny because I was saying at the beginning of the year, like, Mac Jones has to play up to Daniel Jones last year just to get that contract. And Daniel Jones got the contract and is now playing like trash. And he also got hurt.
What they said neck, but what did they say?
I don't know the official
extent.
Yeah, just neck.
But again, even with them, they have Tyrod Taylor as their backup.
Yeah. Yep.
Again, like a guy who has started in the league.
Yeah.
Yep. I think too, they said Miami has surpassed the Rams through 5 games.
Through 5 weeks,
How many yards? Yep. So they're lighting it up, but we'll see. They're lighting it up against bad teams.
Right, yeah. So Jess is right so far for sure. I don't know who they're playing next week. We'll get to it, but I see it.
All right, I'm going to skip that next game because we're going to save that. Steelers, Ravens. I picked the Ravens. Divisional game. It's a crapshoot. You never fucking know. It's so funny.
Of all the divisional games, like, that's totally true. Anything could happen. in a divisional game, but more so the Ravens and Steelers. Like those games are, you could like set your watch to them. Those games are such divisional mudslinging contests. Like, and it's just so funny every time you watch it. Doesn't matter how good one of the teams are, how bad one of the teams are, they just go at it. My biggest struggle from that one is Pickens, who the Patriots passed on for Tyquan Thornton, and it's just another wide receiver in a long line of wide receivers. Always bringing it back to the Patriots, unfortunately. But yeah, it's tough. But yeah, those divisional games, man. I picked the Ravens too. I didn't believe in Tiny Hands McGee, Mr. Pickett. Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. Pickett. Yeah. And he proved me wrong. So good on him.
Yeah, I mean Pickens had 6 for 130, 1 touchdown. It was a little bit of a crapshoot. Those games are like that, but you look at it too. Like both of those teams have had their coaches for a long period of time too, so they, they know each other pretty well. Next was Philly over the Rams. I kind of wish Philly. Obviously, I wish the Rams pulled it out, but it didn't seem like it was really that close.
Nope. It's at this point, it's just for the NFC. At this point, it's just wake me until it's 49ers Eagles, which I think is December 8th or something. That's just the game everyone's waiting for.
That's right, because we're playing the NFC West. Yeah,
that's just the game everyone's waiting for.
That'll be a good one. I think that will be. I mean, we'll get to that too because that one's coming up.
Yep.
But like, that will show who's who.
Yeah, I mean, in the NFC, it's in my opinion. Especially you saw with the Cowboys too.
Yeah.
Which again, set your watch to the Cowboys. That's just those are the two best teams in the NFC at this point. It's just like and anything can happen. Obviously with injuries and Purdy got hurt last year, so anything can happen. But just wake me when it's that time. That game.
That'll be a good one. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I counted the Bengals out. I counted them out. I went with the Cardinals at home because they've had fight in them.
Yeah, it was close-ish. I think it was a one-score game going into the third quarter.
Sure. Yeah.
My boy Chase showed up, which I was happy about. He wasn't wrong about being open all the time.
15 catches.
Yeah.
Although T. Higgins was out.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, obviously you open it up a little bit more because of that.
And it's that, and at some point, just feed your best player. And you see the Vikings did it all the time with Jefferson. They just feed him, just throw it to him nonstop the entire game, and
until it fails.
Yeah, it's no kidding. It's like when you're playing Madden, you just pick the same play over and over and over again. Eventually, it's
until you stop it. And honestly, it's like what Philly did that against us because Forbes was getting burnt, so they just kept going to AJ Brown. It was like, if it's fucking working, why not go for it?
Right.
But it looks like. I don't know. The Cardinals are 1-4. I will say that, but Burrow had a decent game.
Yeah, the Cardinals right now are just doing they're fighting, but they're doing like a controlled tank.
As of now, they would have the second pick.
Yep, we would have third. So good on keep fighting. But yeah, Burrow, maybe he's healthy. I don't know, or maybe he just played a crappy team, or maybe he just fed his best player. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see what next week brings. It was a must win for them, obviously.
Oh, yeah, to salvage the season. But again, they started, I think people forget that. We talked about that. They started slow last year.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much of an injury Burrow had last year. But this year, it's like he's still not 100%. But you need a win like that to try to get the momentum back. So, hilarious ending to this game. And the subtlety of the crack of the foundation.
Which one?
Between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson.
Oh, yeah, man.
It's fucking happening.
Something we didn't talk about last week was that I didn't even think of this. It's the Hackett Bowl. Or it was the Hackett
Bowl.
We didn't
it was
mention
the Hackett Bowl. I know.
I picked the Jets because I thought Zach showed something in the last game.
Sure.
And he actually had his second best game as a pro, like 2 weeks in a row. Here we go. Maybe he's building something.
Yep.
And I didn't even realize it. I forgot totally about that subtext. And there were cracks there. Sean Payton I don't think he's a good coach.
Because there was rumors about Washington at one point.
Yeah, I think he lucked out.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have wanted that.
Him and Mr. McCarthy, they both had Hall of Fame quarterbacks for 10 years, 10 plus years. Mm-hmm. And this shows like the Brady Belichick thing even more, like how amazing that is.
Right.
And they both got one championship out of both of them. And that was it. And then nothing else. Not even another Super Bowl trip.
Right.
Although the Saints probably should have went with that pass interference on the Rams.
True. Yeah, well,
who's counting? Who's keeping count? But yeah, I don't think he's that good. And
no,
I think,
that that fumble at the end,
bad.
It was bad because, again, he's running away. It's behind him. He can't see it. But when you're running and you're...
It was like the Mac fumble the week against the Cowboys. He should have better awareness than that.
100%.
Like you say, these guys can catch up to you in a moment's notice.
Like, he is Rush of all people. I mean, because he's a veteran. Like,
yeah.
You should know better. He's running with the ball just hanging out, and it gets plucked, and then the Jets pick it up and they score. And they were trying to drive to at least tie the game. With 40-something seconds left, and then there's a little subtlety at the end. On the sideline.
Why'd you throw it? Yep. And the thing with the Jets is their defense is good enough where Zach doesn't have to do it. It's not that he has to do he doesn't have to do too much or too little. He just has to do enough. Just be enough. Just do enough.
Right, because you have a good defense, and that was their whole thing. It's like they needed a quarterback. That's why they got Rodgers. But
yep. And you said it's like he was too afraid to make mistakes. It's like you can be nervous about making turnovers and stuff, but still have a little bit of confidence, which it seems is growing.
Right.
And good on him.
But he's gotten destroyed in the press. So I think that. But now he's again, what better team than the Broncos to play and get a nice road win?
Yeah, right.
I picked Denver, but
quick reminder that is still the first hot take from Jess about Wilson getting benched. Hasn't happened yet, but like you said, the cracks are showing, and
big time.
The $245 million contract extension has not kicked in yet. Just a quick reminder.
I just think it's one of those things where you make a big splash like that for a quarterback. I think you still make a big splash trying to get a guy not out of retirement, because I think they had to trade with the Saints, right, to get Peyton.
Mm-hmm.
You make a splash to get that coach because that's what you want, because he had some success in New Orleans, and I forget what he's getting paid, but I'm sure he's getting paid pretty well.
Sure, yeah.
And now you're in a situation where both of them are failing, and now they're not on the same page. And as a fan, that's rough.
Yeah.
The Broncos look terrible.
They do. Yeah, it's ugly. I mean, they went all in the Manning years. I think we talked about the first episode. And, they won the championship. They went to another. So, yeah, that's fantastic. But now they're really paying for it now. And it's and people said, they got Russell Wilson. They had Sutton, Judy, Tim Patrick, who tore his ACL, which sucks. Yep. They had the weapons there on offense. Javonte Williams, young running back. But I don't know. I never really saw it with them. And it's funny because Drew Lock, who they traded away, came in for Geno in Monday Night Football, and he actually played okay. I mean, it was only a very small sample size, but he didn't look terrible. So it's like, what's going on?
They gave up on him too, because I remember when I was like, he could be something, and they gave up on him. They had God, who was his name? Mark Rippon's nephew.
Oh, yep.
I don't know if he's playing, but he was with Denver too.
Yep.
They're in a free fall.
Yep.
Chiefs over the Vikings. Honestly, it was a closer game than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, same here.
But, we both picked the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty easy bet. I was concerned that Kelsey had a bad one, like Achilles type thing. But he came back, just lower ankle, which is the best news you can have. Another weird turf injury. Because again, I don't enjoy watching stars getting hurt. If Mahomes got hurt for the year, I wouldn't be happy about it. I mean, and like a small part of me might be like, oh, the Chiefs aren't going to win. That's cool. But then you miss out on one of the most exciting players in the NFL, which sucks. But he was back in, which is good. But yeah, it was closer than I thought. And once again, the Vikings lost a one-score game.
And what were they, 11-0 last year?
Yep, one-score games.
In one-score games, and they are
1-4.
Yeah, now they're 1-4. They're 0-3 at home.
0-4 one-score games, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're there's a few 1-4 teams.
I think Kirk is in a contract here.
Well, there was rumors about him getting traded, potentially. This is the thing with Kirk. That's why I wasn't sad to see him go. This is what he would have done in Washington.
Yeah,
he just is what he is. 284, 2 touchdowns, but the Vikings at the 11-0.
You knew they were a paper tiger. They were just they were just waiting to collapse.
And since that, what did they finish with last year? They were 11
I think they were 13-4, whatever the weird thing is now.
Okay,
12-5 or 13.
So from 11-0, and then now they're 1-4.
Yeah, because when you see those one-score games, you flip literally 3 of them. It's
just a whole different.
The math is just there's no way it's going to happen again. It is pretty hilarious. It is completely flipped because
Oh, yeah.
they could very easily think about it. They could be 5-0, you know,
Right.
5-0. They could, if any of those games, 3 of those games go differently.
Yep.
But one play, that's all it takes.
Excuse me. And then we went to the Sunday night game, which was 2 weeks in a row. I know that it was kind of like the Niners were the favorite, so I guess calling Dallas the Joker pick was more so because I'm like, they don't have it.
Yeah,
like
and they're coming off that big win against the Patriots, and
they came off that win, and I'm like, they're the Joker pick, and it showed. They got,
they
smacked.
They played Purdy pretty well last year, and this is a good game. In my head, I was thinking, oh, good, a good Sunday night football game that I can watch, and I think I was in bed by halftime or something like that because you just saw it. I mean, it was CMC had his first fumble and I think 1,000 touches or something insane like that.
Yeah.
Which kept them in it a little bit, but
14 straight games with a touchdown.
Yeah, I think is now a record, maybe 15. But yeah, the rich get richer when they traded for him. That's for sure.
Oh my
and then
God.
even the other dude got a touchdown. He's running. That team is just. They ran the same fake play as the Lions too, which I thought was hilarious. To the double, like the fake reverse to Purdy back to the tight end, which I thought I would love to know the inner workings of that. Like, did they see? I need to know if they saw the Lions do it and then just did it. Because if they did, that's really, really impressive.
Yeah.
There is a very, very, very specific play last year, and if I can find it, I'll send it to you so you could like put it in the show notes or something. But the 49ers ran a play and it worked beautifully, and they got a touchdown on it. Because they have the amazing personnel, and the Patriots tried to run the exact same play, and it just got blown up because they did not have the horses that the 49ers have.
Right.
But, they have the best O-line in the league, and we're gonna say it every single week. 2 of the best receivers. Ayuk deep, Debo short. They got Kittle. They got CMC. They got Bosa on the line. The thing that's funny, and I said about the few times, like the Patriots haven't had a top 10 pick. They never got that superstar.
Yeah.
Like they have Bosa. They have the best linebackers in the league. Yep. And the Bosa pick was it's annoying to me because it was like they were fake bad because Jimmy G got hurt. And they just stumbled into a top 5 pick. And it's like, oh man, like if we could just get one of those guys, you know?
Like the one bad year.
Yeah. When it was like not even real bad years is because their quarterback hurt.
Right.
And Purdy, shout out to him. I'm not going to rag on the guy for taking what's given to him, and Kyle Shanahan's putting him in spots to succeed, and he's killing it. Good for him.
But it also shows that maybe the Cowboys are a little similar to the Dolphins.
Yeah, you might be right on that, actually.
I mean, they're beating up some bums, no offense, but like they had a big game, and it was like, Belichick's worst game, and blah, blah, and then they go into the 49ers, who were undefeated, and they got smacked.
Yeah, and I think it was you that one of us said that they didn't do anything in like the big Patriots win. It wasn't anything they did. It just, or even the Giants game, I think is what we said. They didn't. It was just 1 or 2 bad plays here or there, and it looked like it was a blowout, sure, on paper, but your eyeballs say something different.
Right.
So
right.
There's nothing better though than a Cowboys fan getting hyped up for the Cowboys and come crashing down. I will say they haven't won since 1995. But you wouldn't know it.
They were the most. I mean, I give them that. They're delusional to a fucking fault. It's like y'all haven't won since 95, and we haven't won since 91. Like it's a 4-year fucking difference. Like, come on.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you pick. Do we go Thursday night, or do we go? You want to save your rant? Or you want me to rant first? Because mine happened first.
You go for it. If you need
a repeat of last year. So, which again, we talked about the scheduling. I don't know how the fuck they're doing this, but last year was like a 12-7 or 12-9.
I was thinking
game.
that as I was watching. Yeah,
it's so ridiculous. So they did this exact same Thursday night game last year, and both teams were not very good. It was a 12-7 or 12-9 fucking game. Washington won. They are notorious so far this year. Notorious for coming out slow.
Yeah,
they are constantly fucking coming out flat and playing from behind to the point where at halftime they're down 27 to fucking 3 to the Bears, who didn't have a fucking win at this point.
Right.
They looked like the 49ers against us. And we're at fucking home in a sellout crowd. They played fucking terrible. And I don't know.
Magic Johnson was in the building. It was prime time.
Fucking. I will say this, that, late in the game when they're getting their fucking dicks kicked, I said to my father, they show Josh Harris. Now, granted, new owner, this is not, it's his team, but this isn't what he's created. This is what he inherited.
Yeah.
So I get it. And this wasn't even a knock on him, but they show him in the box and he's, laughing. And I go, at least he's having fun. Because we're sitting here like this is another fucking game and another fucking year of misery. That defense, man. So we talked about Emmanuel Forbes.
Yeah.
In the game before.
Yeah.
With, he's a rookie, but he was getting fucking torched. He was getting torched again. They benched him late in the game.
Oh, wow.
He was just getting torched.
Who's that cornerback? Is it the first round pick they took? The
Emmanuel
cornerback?
Forbes,
was that him?
Yeah.
Because they took him right before the Patriots took Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And I remember being very excited because I wanted Gonzalez.
Yeah.
He was like number one on my big board for the defense. So that's interesting. I know he got benched.
Wow. He was ahead of Gonzalez was ahead of Forbes
on a lot of boards.
But I think because he's kind of like a ball hawk.
Yeah.
The problem is when you're like that. When I was just listening to that 106.7 The Fan over there down in D.C.
Yeah, it's funny that because I was listening to the Patriots post game of the wait. I'm waiting. I'd like to hear their thoughts.
That podcast, that radio station, they're great. Those guys.
Yeah.
But they made a good point. Like you get a ball hawk and he's young.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna overcommit.
You saw with Diggs.
On some balls.
Diggs happens to him all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. I think there's a big problem with the secondary. On the opening drive, there was an incomplete pass on the first play of the game. But whether it was Forbes or not, the secondary got fucking burnt, and it just happened to be an overthrown ball. Fields did that a few times that game. He overthrew his guy.
Yeah.
But that drive alone, we got burnt on 3 different fucking plays. They go right down the field and score a touchdown. So the secondary, the defense in general is just playing fucking terrible. This is their 4th game in a row, letting up over 30. Their offensive line looks like fucking shit.
Yeah.
And they're actually scoring. I mean, they scored 20, but they can score some points. The defense is killing them. And that's like the opposite of usually like what we expect.
Chase looked? How's he look?
Chase has been doing better, but that front fucking line isn't really doing much on the quarterback. I mean, even that game, Howell got sacked like 5 times again.
Yeah, he's on pace, I think, to break the record of most sacks in a year.
And it's not all him.
Yeah.
I like that line. You lose guys like Trent Williams and Brandon Scherf, and they got fucking nobody. They have a patchwork. They put a lot of emphasis on their defense, signing these guys, but they're playing like fucking shit. They have a bottom 5 defense, if not fucking bottom 3. They're letting up a lot of fucking points. So you come off a game where everybody's like, oh, well, we almost beat the Eagles, and you didn't. Now, to me, the Bears had more of a right, I think, to come out of that game and be disappointed because they blew a fucking 21-7 lead, or what was it, 28-7 lead?
Yeah.
Against Denver.
Yeah.
They had every fucking right to come out and be flat. Instead, we were the ones who fucking came out flat.
And, they did it to us last year on Monday Night Football. They were terrible, and then they blew the doors off us at home on a Monday Night Football in a primetime game. And it was like, what team is this? And then it was like right when Justin Fields started figuring it out, and then they were bad the rest of the year. They won 3 games, and we were one of them. And that game, we missed the playoffs because we lost that. I mean, because of a lot of reasons, but
sure.
we were 1 game short, and that was one of them.
That was one of those games that you could have won. Now, we were 2-2, which I sort of expected going into week 5. But if you look at the schedule, I said we could be 5-2 because you had the Bears, you get the Falcons, and then you have the Giants. Like, realistically, you could be 5-2, and now you're fucking 2-3. Yeah. You got blown out at home.
It's so funny how just like that not going for it on 2, it's just like you see how it snowballs. You see how it snowballs.
That's why I said it's a butterfly effect. You could have went into that game being 3-1. Yeah. You might have had a whole different perspective. Go home. It's a sellout crowd, and now you're fucking sitting 2-3.
And that's even more reason I feel like they should have went for the 2-point conversion because they knew their 2 Thursday Night Footballs coming up. Like, it's a different mindset going in because literally of all the primetime games, I mean, I think obviously any given Sunday, Monday, whatever, definitely Thursday because anything can happen when you have like 1 day of practice.
Sure.
I can certainly see it. Yeah.
But without taking too much more on this, but thinking about this again, and I had this conversation, overtime is not set up for your benefit.
Yeah.
If you think about it, they reduced it by 1/3. So now there's only 10 minutes.
Right, yeah.
If you get the ball and you go down, you kick a field goal. That doesn't win you the game. Now you have to fucking play defense. And now it's not even a full quarter. Yeah. And like you just said, you're on a short week. You just put your guys out there for 10 more fucking minutes almost, and you lost.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, yeah.
So to me, the gamble was what they did. Yeah. The more logical thing was to just go for it on 2 and die right there.
Did anyone ask him about it in the press conference?
I don't know. Usually they do on stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know if they did or didn't. I mean, I think Del Rio and Ron are out. I think because you got new owners.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
unless they turn it around. Yeah. But if they do this subpar bullshit, I hope they.
That's the thing. It's like you're playing with house money. You're probably gone because of that. They want to bring in their own guys. It makes me even more. The more we talk about it, I'm even more surprised they didn't go for it. But
it just, to me, the gamble was to do what they did.
No, you're right.
It's like the logical move was to just go for it on 2.
Yep,
made no sense.
My biggest thing is I asked you. I texted you during the week if I should stream Howell in fantasy because Herbert was on hot buy for me. I did not. I played Stafford instead. I felt like he was a safe. Well, I was going to play Russell Wilson, who actually I never went back and see what he scored, but I did. I played him. I was going to play him, and then I saw someone drop Stafford, so I was able to pick him up on waivers. So I put him in there. One of them didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things because we'll get to it in the fantasy corner. But yeah, when I saw you had 25 points, but that shows you right there the difference between fantasy and like real life football.
Oh yeah,
it's just not the same. It's not the same, especially with garbage time and shenanigans.
That's kind of where Howell had better numbers, but they caught some heat on that too from one of the linemen. Like they were out there calling timeouts. They're trying like, bro, fuck, now you want to try?
Yeah,
fucking now you want to try? You fucking kidding me? So that's that. We both picked the Patriots.
We did, yeah. It's my turn.
It's your turn, and I just need to say, like, I'm gonna give you the ammo now that you need it. But like, it got so fucking bad, and it was like the exact performance the week before.
Yeah,
they have scored 3 points in 2 games and given up how many?
69,
right?
30 and 35. I don't know.
34 and
34 and 38.
70 something?
72.
72.
Math.
So 72 and 3 they've
72.
gotten outscored.
Yeah, so let me just start by saying last week I said, Bill Belichick just had his biggest loss of his Patriots career. And I said that's not going to happen again. And I was right. It was his second worst loss of his Patriots career. So nailed it from a 35
by 1 fucking point. But you were right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know where to begin on this team. And this will tie into Jess's hot take of the week where it's not Mac Jones' fault. She does not believe it's Mac Jones' fault.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's definitely not the answer. I mean, this is more me, but the offensive line will become a recurring theme. The offensive line is terrible. The defense, okay. Like I said, I don't even know where to start. I'm just going to ramble a little bit. We did lose our top 4 cornerbacks. So let's be fair. We lost Gonzo. We lost Jonathan Jones for the start of the year.
Sure.
We lost Marcus Jones and Jack Jones. We lost our top 4 cornerbacks. Like any team that loses their top 4 cornerbacks, it happened to the Ravens the year before, I think, or 2 years ago, and they missed the playoffs because of it. Not going to help. And it actually ties into the week before hot take with the blockbuster trade. It wasn't really a blockbuster. It was more of a trade.
Well,
but it showed that it showed they weren't giving up. But they got what's his name back. And it showed that they weren't giving up, and the Chargers didn't really. I feel like they didn't play him the way he should have been played.
Yeah.
But yeah, the offensive line's terrible. Our wide receiver core is porous to say the least, and I think the game has passed Bill Belichick by in a way. And because if you go back to 2019, Brady's last year, that so there were people who were like, "Oh, Brady's washed. He had a crappy year last year."
Yeah.
And then what happened when he went to Buccaneers and had weapons again? 45 touchdowns, whatever stupid number it was.
All right.
In a Super Bowl, obviously. So it's like, even he had trouble with that team in 2019, with Harry as his wide receiver, not DK Metcalf or Debo, or the list goes on. And, Max running for his life. He's definitely, I feel like he's seeing ghosts. Ever since his the bye week of his rookie season, he has not been the same since one of his early injuries, and he's running for his life. I said it last week, our right tackle was our biggest point of need, and we didn't do anything to do it. I think in the league, he has the least amount of time to throw the ball. He has at least, pressure-wise.
Yeah.
He has guys in his face right away. And if you're seeing ghosts, it makes it doubly worse because he's just throwing stupid pick sixes.
Right.
Belichick hates turnovers. Our wide receivers get the least separation in the league. Juju does nothing. Devontae Parker is a contested catch guy who doesn't catch contested catches. Our defense is like decimated, and in Belichick, and I feel like Belichick thinks, and this may have worked in some way, or it might get you some success, but not over the top. It helps when you have the best quarterback ever.
Right.
That if you play good defense, don't turn the ball over, and play good special teams, you will be in most games. Well, the problem is we don't have Tom Brady, and also our special teams sucks. They're 32nd, I think, in DVOA right now, which is, that weird algorithm of all the different metrics.
Yeah.
We got rid of Nick Folk, our kicker, who's 12 for 12, just hit like a 52-yarder. Our guy didn't hit a 48-yarder.
Yep.
He's a rookie, whatever. But, excuse me, they're playing. Yeah, it's just bad all the way around. It's unbelievable. And you talked about the Commanders' offensive line being terrible. Patriots are in the same boat. It's just bad. Trent Brown was really good a couple of years ago, but he's now 30 years old and he's 300 whatever pounds. We used to draft for like the year ahead. So like Nate Solder, we took him when he was a backup, and we knew he'd be the start of the year after. You can't do that anymore. Like you can take those picks, but when like when Tom Brady's not patching over these Band-Aids, you can't take a center in the third round to replace Andrews when who's still there. You worry about that later. What are you doing taking a center? Like, we need weapons. And then Tyquan Thornton or he's injured and he's not the same. And Bill O'Brien was supposed to come in and fix the offense, but the offense somehow looks even worse. It
does, but it's almost like the guys that they picked up for their core, their wide receiver core and their tight ends, it's like they're like the BC league.
Yeah, even look at Jonnu. He went to the Falcons. They traded him for a bag of balls, and he has like 20 catches already.
Right.
He has almost 25% of the catches he had with the Patriots over 2 years, over 5 weeks. Yeah. So it's like, what? And Mac is very quickly approaching the Alex Smith school of tons of offensive coordinators. He has his third offensive coordinator in his third year. There's also a lot like the brain drain goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
You've lost. Just go down the list, and like they may not be perfect head coaches when they went, but they were good assistants. That you lost McDaniels, that you lost Patricia, you've lost Flores, you lost Weiss, you lost Romeo Crennel, you lost Bill O'Brien, you lost Ernie who retired, you lost Scarnecchia who retired. It's just a massive. Oh, you lost Bill Polian when he was one of the architects. You lost the gentleman who went to the Texans, whose name escapes me currently. You lost the guy who went to the Falcons to, oversee their almost Super Bowl team, Mitroff or something. So it's just like, it happens over time. And I just think the way the league is going has passed Belichick by, and he had, the first half of the dynasty, whatever you want to call it, he nailed a lot of those for the first team. And he even said that first team that won the Super Bowl they kind of lucked out. Yeah. It wasn't until the second one where his people were in place. A lot of those first ones were like Parcells guys, like the Guinness of the world and stuff. Yeah. And then from 2007, they had the almost perfect season. And 2011, they shouldn't have went to the playoffs. Brady dragged them there kicking and screaming. And then they went almost 10 years without a Super Bowl, which I know was a drought to some people, but whatever. But he missed on a lot of draft picks. I remember sitting in the parking lot of Rhode Island College listening to Felger and Maz, and they're like, the Jets have had better drafts than the Patriots in the last 4 years. Is Rex Ryan better than Bill? And then he hit on Chandler Jones, he hit on Hightower, he hit on Gronk, Hernandez for a time, and they had that second run. But again, Brady was there to help patch over holes. You could take chances on guys, right? And if Antonio Brown didn't text that woman threatening her children in 2019, maybe they would have done something else. Sure. But then when you start missing on draft picks again, like Tyquan Thornton, it's kind of remains to be seen, but I'm pretty sure it's done. Harry, it hurts because Mac Jones can't win you those games. He just can't.
How the mighty have fallen. But it is like it is all those things though. It is the injuries on their in their secondaries. It's serious.
It adds up, and it wasn't until I really looked at it where someone or one of the post-game shows I listened to said, oh, yeah, they lost their top 4 cornerbacks. What team can survive that? Right. Literally your top 4 cornerbacks. Your slot corner, your RB1 or QB1, 2. And John Jones is a good corner. He like not even taking. And he actually came back this game, but he's still working himself in.
Right.
Sean Wade is like your number one cornerback. It's not going to happen. J.C. Jackson, that's the name that escapes me. Who they traded for?
Yeah. You know, they did make a trade. It wasn't a blockbuster, but it was still a trade.
Yeah, and it shows that they weren't giving up, which is cool. I do not like tanking. I never have, never will. When the Celtics were in that zone, I did not like it. Right. I enjoy watching a team trying to win. I don't enjoy watching a team
because a draft is only. It might work out, it might not. And if there's a guy that you really fucking want, trade up for him.
Yeah.
I'm not about blowing a whole fucking year, because if you're doing that and that's your mentality, you're wasting everybody's fucking time, especially the fans.
Yep. And it's interesting because Nick Caserio, who's the Texans gentleman who he just traded, didn't he just trade up or took a quarterback really high or tried to trade up for someone? So, you know, he made that move. So it's like, why can't Bill? Why can't Bill? But Matt Groh is the new like name that's in the front office, and I'm curious to see how he's doing. But they've kind of changed their drafting strategy a little bit. But you know, last year they took a right guard in the first round.
Yeah,
like what are you doing?
Yeah,
and not only that, he was slotted to go in the fourth round. You know, that's where people had him pegged. So it's like, what the hell is going on?
Well, you know what? Belichick is very much not for the flashy. Picks, right, but at the same time, they have no fucking weapons. Coming into this season, I said even last year, but like more so this year, I'm like, they have nobody.
Myers was max like Binky, and he lets him walk and signs Juju. Who gave him that physical? I want to know if his knee's really like close to exploding. And Myers is having a great year. And it's funny because you asked me, I think you asked last week, if they're going to trade Mac or get rid of Mac. It's like, who else is there? They have Zappy, who they cut.
And he came in, and I know he came in on short notice, but again, as your backup,
he's not a.
I would rather have.
I'd rather have a Tyrod Taylor.
Or like we have Jacoby or Gardner Minshew. Like I'd rather have those guys.
For sure.
No offense to Zappy, but
yeah,
they just don't have. They're just not built. No. And they've got so many fucking injuries, and then the coordinator thing. That's nothing to sneeze at either. I say that about Howell. I mean, Howell, he rode the bench last year, but he was learning a whole different offense.
Yep.
He comes out of college. From that offense, learns a whole new one. Now you have Bieniemy. Now he's playing under a whole different one. So,
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like you said, and I think you said it like earlier. We were talking about with the Red Sox and stuff. What's going to happen when things go south? The good thing about Kraft is that he's a fan first. Like he was a season ticket holder back in the '60s or whatever it was.
Right.
Like, so curious to see what he wants to do. But you know, and Belichick, you see it happen with everyone. Curly Lambeau, ever heard of him? Like he left the Packers under like. Unceremoniously, you know, they wanted to take away his player personnel, and he said no and left.
Sure.
Tom Landry got fired after 30 plus years. Don Shula, he retired, but you know, there's word on the street that the new owner wanted him gone, and he just kind of like they let him retire.
What do you think about? I'm gonna get another beverage first, but what do you think about him moving up, like a Brad Stevens moving up into like the front office type deal, running some of like? Well, he
already is our de facto GM. You know, he definitely makes the final call, and that's kind of what the shenanigans that people talk about with like there are reports that some other people in the front office wanted other wide receivers who are on the board, and he wanted Harry for whatever god awful reason. I just don't think he's gonna want to do that. Honestly, I don't think he's gonna want to do it, and I don't know if I want him to have final say on the roster because I think his player of yesteryear is gone. Like those big bulky linebackers just aren't the player anymore.
Right.
And also, he's so close to Shula's record, and he loves the history of the NFL. I think he wants the record, but just go get it somewhere else. Like,
do you think that they do something where they kind of let him resign unceremoniously?
It'll be like a Shula thing, I think.
But do you think he goes somewhere else?
He might go to the Giants. He still has a lot of love for the Giants.
That's true.
He was offensive coordinator there, 2 Super Bowls with them, with Parcells. He does have love for the Giants. So maybe. I can see it.
Interesting.
I don't know if they get rid of
Dayball.
Yeah.
It depends on how bad they do this year.
Yeah, true. But be curious to see. That's the only team I could see Belichick going to personally.
Honestly, it would be a full circle thing for him.
Yeah.
I would fucking hate it, but so that's the
week that was.
That was the week that was. Hit the music, and then there were. Before we jump into we'll do our hot take, and then we'll do our beer of the week.
Yeah.
The Browns, the Chargers, the Seahawks, and the Bucks were all on a bye this week.
Yep. So Jess's hot takes. So from last week,
is she keeping record? Or are you keeping record
I got
of her hot takes?
I got them here. Yep, I got them. So week 2 was Wilson getting benched. Hasn't happened yet. But I mean, come on.
It's close.
Come on. It's close. It's close. Dolphins will implode, which we got a little clarity on of, the bad team, good team thing.
Sure.
Week 4A. And last year she said that the Taylor Swift one was a joke. And I said, listen, I can only understand. It's a text message. I can't understand.
Your sarcasm didn't translate, Jessica.
Didn't seep through. But the blockbuster trade, pretty close. Not a blockbuster, but what's the definition of a blockbuster? But I was impressed that the trade happened. That's good. Week 5, until Matt gets anything, he's not going to get a fair chance, which is a good take, I think. She, although she did say she's done. She said she's given Mac Jones everything but her punani, and she is done.
Jessica,
she is done. She's done, just like similar to me. But I'm done with the whole shebang. But
sure.
Yeah. So I am keeping track of them. That was this past week's one, so we're good there with the hot takes.
All right. Okay.
But I will continue to log them.
Okay, fair enough. Honestly, like as I saw the fumble and then the sideline thing with Russ, I had like the Grinch smile, and I was like, "Oh, it's gonna happen!"
I'm so excited.
That one would be like, because it was an early one.
Yeah,
it's like that would be like if that happened.
Oh yeah,
that would be something.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It almost happened the week after, which is amazing. It's only gotten worse every week.
It really has.
But they came back the week before, so whatever. Yeah. I don't know if you wanted to touch on the fantasy.
Do fantasy?
Yeah.
We'll do fantasy. We'll do a little beer of the week, and then we'll make our picks.
Yeah. So I have to start with last week. If you go back and listen, I had a 4% chance to win in that game. Yeah. And I said on air, live on air, that defenses have balled out, and there is a chance that I wind up winning.
Yeah.
And I did by 0.5 points because the Seahawks defense got like 3 touchdowns. And literally, I think the last pick 6 of the game, which I don't even know why the Giants are still trying, won me the game. I went to bed. I woke up to it, and I just couldn't believe it.
You were saying that you were getting beat pretty good, but like if it's like, and I quote, if the defense comes through and you pull it off.
They did. So. And then I dropped the Seahawks because they're on bye. So I got another defense for this week. But Cheese's League. Shout out Cheese.
Did you see that game? So Cheese,
I did see he was 4-0.
The head coach of the Baloney Ponies lost by 0.08 to Greg's Miso Hedgie.
I did see that actually.
Yeah,
I did see that.
Oof. That's
Sorry,
that
Cheese.
hurts.
Yeah, that's brutal. And like I beat the team, the 4% game. I won by like 0.5.
Yeah.
He legitimately, in our fantasy chat, said, I don't know if I'm going to play next year. And he went radio silent for the day. He never said anything all day long. He was gone. Oh, sorry, Cheese.
I won in that league. I had Kirk. Who did I have? Connor. I had Santos as my kicker, who got me 62 points because he went 4 for 4 and 4 for 4 on extra points. So
nice. Yeah, I
had a lot of points.
Greg Zerline, Greg the Leg, who went 5 for 5 and 2 for 2. So he had 66 points. And I beat the pants off of Liam. Shout out Liam. Just saw him this weekend. Came to visit the baby. 267 to 192. But actually had a very good week this week. Oh, I still have Devontae Adams going, so I might put some more points up. But yeah, Swift had a good game. New York Jets defense. And defense are tricky in that league because it's standard scoring. So defenses get you like negatives if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Which is always a pain in the ass. And I had Breece Hall, who had an amazing game, 79 points. So shout out Cheese.
Shout out to Cheese League. I was playing Lauren. Lauren had Richardson as her quarterback.
That's a bummer.
So
there's nothing worse than when you're playing fantasy and your dude goes out in the first quarter, of a game. You're like, oh, that's a 0 burger. Like nothing's happening here, which is a big bummer. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have some technical difficulties.
It could be just the battery.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll keep going. I'll talk about my money league.
I have nothing to do with that.
All right. So my money league, I won 152 to 120. Like I mentioned earlier, I streamed Matt Stafford, who had a decent game. The big piece here was I played. So in waivers, I picked up McLaughlin, who was the backup running back for the Broncos, and my guy who had a hip injury last week, Javonte, who I mentioned earlier. He was not inactive until like an hour before the game, so I slotted in McLaughlin. He scored me 16 points, got a nice touchdown. But the big boy of the game was Mr. Jamar Chase, who scored me a nice, beautiful 44 with his 3 touchdowns. And Adam Thielen, who is just, he's a good player, a decent player on a bad team. So he just kind of gets volume, and, he got me another good game. So It was questionable, but once I saw that Chase had 3 touchdowns, it was fine. It's hard to come up, over a 50-point burger by someone.
It's true. That was the battery. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about battery life.
Right.
So
that's fair.
I will put in the logo.
All right. So, I am current. If the score holds out, I'll be in first place in that league at 4-1, sitting pretty.
In the cheese league?
No, in the other league.
Oh, in the other league. I was gonna say
cheese. I'm 3. I'll be 3-2.
I think I'm 4-1.
But the 2 4-0 teams, Liam and Cheese, both lost.
Right. So now I'm tied.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm right.
You're welcome. You're in the thick of things.
I'm right back in it.
Yep.
You need to remind me here. I need sounds for each of our segments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So this would be our beer.
Okay.
Our beer of the week.
Oh yeah, I like that.
So I did put one in. Okay. I put 2 in actually, but I didn't put
very
the
much
other
looking
ones in.
forward to
But
it.
now I'm like, I got to put them in so we can separate our segments. But this was a happy accident because I finally did run out.
Yeah.
And grab something. So I went with the.
What's the closest liquor store to you?
There's a couple.
Okay. It can be a pain in the butt sometimes. I get it.
No. I got like 3 that are like within.
I also work from home,
mile.
so I have like literally no. There you go. I have no excuse. Like I can literally just leave the house and at any moment.
I know I finally did, and I went with Whalers. That's like the American Pale Ale.
Mm-hmm.
This is usually my go-to at like a bar if they don't have like Modelo or something. Like I'll go with the Whalers. So shout out Whalers, and then you came with the IPA version.
Yes,
the APA version.
The India Pale Ale Whalers version 13, which I have no idea what that means, but shout out to them because they sell it in a 6-pack, and as you know, I will not be buying a 4-pack of this stuff.
Right.
I did buy some Athletics, but I did not put them in my mini fridge, which I also left the door open for like a full day. But it stayed cold, so I had to put a weight up against it. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, and it's good. And shout out local IPA. The API, I never noticed that. Acolyte Protection Agency. Shout out.
the APA and the IPA. So
but it's good. Yeah, I'm liking it.
So shout out Whalers.
Shout out Whalers.
And all right, so I didn't look at the schedule yet, so I'm going to have to internalize this as we go. We'll make our picks for week 6.
Yep, let me bring up the old Rhode Island, again, local Rhode Island Sportsbook, looking at the NFL. Right now, the Packers
are getting beat.
Oh, they are, yeah. The Raiders are 7.5-point favorite, like live 7.5-point favorite, so that's interesting. But Packers are my pick, so, wait, no, were they? Yeah, they were.
I picked the Packers. And
yeah, I think Jimmy G's back. So I'm sorry, I'm trying to bring up.
Good, because I'm going to try to find some jokers.
Oh, there you go. Week 6, here we go. All right, and I'm going to go right down the list. Actually, no, I'm not. Why do they do it? Oh, this is annoying me so much. Why do they do it this way? Thursday. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's why. Thursday Night Football. The Denver Broncos travel to the Kansas City Chiefs.
With a 10.5 point. Chiefs are 10.5 points.
Yeah, 10.5, which is it's a big spread. It's Thursday Night Football. Anything can happen, but we're not doing spreads here.
No. But I would take the spread in that.
Yeah, I think the Broncos. You could see it happen. You could see it, the hot take, the original hot take, which I'll always go back to because that is like the best hot take of all the hot takes. Yeah, it could certainly happen. I believe it.
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs. Chiefs at home. Broncos look like they are in a fucking free fall. So
yeah,
I will.
Sorry, I'm just making room here in my little document here, so I can make sure I continue to tabulate this stuff. Do you want me to take yours too, or are you?
I got mine in my notes.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure I write this all down. So I'm going Chiefs as well. Chiefs. Thursday Night Football, which I will be watching. All right, then we do have a London game, 9:30 Sunday morning. Baltimore Ravens travel to the Tennessee Titans. Baltimore Ravens are 3-point favorites. So home and away means nothing in this game. They're both traveling at the same time. I'm taking two teams. Well, all things equal, I'm going the Ravens.
And if they were at Tennessee, I would consider it.
Yeah,
but I'm going to take the Ravens.
I think the Ravens are mad. They just lost a tough game.
Yeah.
Zay Flowers did get hurt in that game, I should point out.
Yeah.
They're rookie wide receiver, so got to keep an eye on that. Then we have the Indianapolis Colts, the Gardner Minshew Indianapolis Colts traveling.
Let's clarify.
Traveling to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars are 4-point favorite.
Now this is this his first game back?
Who's that?
Gardner against the Jags.
Oh, I never think
like
of that.
Starting.
Yeah, that might be interesting. Curious. How about that little wrinkle?
It's not like yeah. I mean, he's gonna start. Oh, that's a tough game. Fuck. They got Jacksonville by 4.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yep.
Although they did activate Taylor.
They did. That's right. And Zach Moss had another good game this last week. So
fuck it. I'm going Gardner.
All right. Cool.
And
I'll go Jags. I like some picks where you can keep it a little bit. So that kind of sell. I was leaning, so I was like, okay, I'll take
yeah,
that one.
that's fine.
That's fine. I like that. I like that reason for that pick though. I should have taken the Jags as my pick of the week last week. I'm mad that I didn't.
Yeah.
Then next we have the Seattle Seahawks traveling to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are 2.5-point favorites. Seahawks are coming off a bye. I think Burrow's healthy. I think Bengals are looking good. I got the Bengals at home.
Fuck. Fuck. I do too. I went against the Bengals this week and I paid for it. I will say the Bengals at home.
Oh, I got my money pick. I got it.
Do you? Because I still haven't gotten to like a Joker pick yet.
All right. I'm sorry. Who'd you take there?
Yeah.
All right.
Take the Bengals. I paid for it last week when I didn't.
All right. So next game is the New Orleans Saints.
Is this it?
No.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Is there? Okay. I'll let you know.
You gotta let me know.
I'll give you a sign. New Orleans Saints travel to the Houston Texans. The New Orleans Saints are 1.5-point favorites. Saints just screwed me. Saints look like world beaters against the Patriots. Oh, the Saints have a good defense. I'll give them that with Lattimore, and they got the Honey Badger playing safety. Texans might be coming back down to earth. I don't want to just pick all favorites.
You ready for this? The Joker pick of the week. The Joker pick of the week is going to be your New Orleans Saints.
Yep.
I am going to pick the Texans at home. I think it's going to be one of those things where, unfortunately, it's the same thing with the Cowboys. They look like world beaters against the Patriots, who are in disarray right now. And I think they're going to go to Houston, and Houston's going to kick them in the dick.
So every team that beats the Patriots by 30 plus should just be the Joker of the week the following week.
That was like a happy accident, but I
think you're undefeated in your Joker picks of the week so far. Yeah. So I'm gonna follow you. And pick the Texans. I like it.
Texans at home rebounded. I mean, they played a good game.
Yeah, you're right. Next, we have the Detroit Lions traveling to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Detroit Lions are 3-point favorite. I think this is gonna be a good game, but I'm the Lions, man. They're the real deal. I'm sticking with the Lions. I'm gonna stick with the Lions until the wheels fall off at this point, because I did not go with them when I should have, and I paid the price. So
I could see this being a game where a couple turnovers is going to make the fucking
pick
difference.
6 or something. Yeah.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm at like all the home teams right now. No, I got the Colts on the road. I'm gonna go Bucks. We'll go opposite here. I'll go Bucks.
Okay.
I do believe in the Lions though. Yeah. I really am rooting for the Lions, but just to be a little bit different here, I will go with the Bucks.
All right, next we have a very special game.
Oh, that was the wink. That was the look. I got it.
Nice. Incredible. We have the 0-5 Carolina Panthers traveling to the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
And Miami Dolphins are a 13.5-point favorite. But I'm going to go with the hot take, week 3 hot take of the Dolphins beating up on bad teams. And I'm going for it. I'm taking that 13.5.
You're taking the 13.5 against the Panthers. All right.
Yep. And if I lose, it's all Jessica's fault. So there you go. So mark it down. Now it's funny because I know I've had 2 poor weeks of Mo's Money Picks, and again, I apologize if you bet the house on it. But in my time since I put $50 in, I'm still at $54.49. So I'm still on the positive side here.
That's good.
However, if I lose this pick, I'll be in $1 negative.
I think it's a good pick, though, because as big as that spread is, Dolphins show that they can put up points.
Yeah.
Especially against bad teams. So
Yep.
I also am taking the Dolphins.
And it's a fun big spread, which I've never done. I always
Yeah,
usually
no,
do
it's a
the
good
small
one,
ones, so I'm taking the Dolphins.
I like it.
Cha-ching. So hopefully I win you guys.
That's
$4.
Mo's Money Pick.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Oh boy, that's funny. All right, and then I lost my spot. I apologize. We got the Minnesota Vikings traveling to the Chicago Bears, and the Minnesota Vikings are 2.5-point favorites.
That's fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, it's not great.
That is fucking embarrassing. I feel like I'm gonna pay for it because the Vikings do me dirty.
Yep.
And it's like the Denver. Like I don't know why I keep fucking falling for it. The Bears looked good. Washington looked like trash last week. They were 0-4 going into this game. Although I will say that other than them blowing the lead against Denver, they were kind of like coming about in that game.
Yeah. Yep.
I could see the Bears winning this game.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna pick them.
Not me either.
I'm gonna pick the Vikings.
Yeah. Yep. I think the Thursday night football is a bit of a fluke.
Yeah.
Next, we have the Washington Commies, a.k.a. football team.
Salamanders.
A.k.a. Redskins. The Boston Redskins traveling to the Hotlanta Falcons. The Hotlanta Falcons are 2.5-point favorites. Falcons I've been up and down with. I can't figure them out. And the Commanders I certainly can't figure out.
Nope.
So what's going on?
Atlanta is 3-0 at home.
Mm-hmm.
If that means anything to you. Ritter has looked decent. Pitts finally had a good game.
Yeah.
I'm picking Washington because those are my guys. And they better fucking win because honestly, they haven't played teams like the Dolphins. But they haven't played the Dolphins. They haven't played Dallas yet. They've only played Philly once. They have to play the Niners. Like, they have hard fucking games.
Yep.
These are the ones you got to try to win.
Yeah.
So, I'm going Washington.
I'm going to go with the Falcons because I've picked the Commanders every week, and they've betrayed me. But don't worry. Don't worry. They're not the only ones who betrayed me, so.
I respect it.
Next, we have the San Francisco 49ers traveling to the Cleveland Browns. 49ers are surprisingly, they're on the road. 5 points, yeah. I'm going 49ers. Same thing as the Lions until they show me otherwise. I'm going to go 49ers.
I hate saying I'm going to go with the 49ers too, but I also could see this being a trap game.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just because it's at Cleveland.
One week, the Peyton Hillis year, if you remember the Browns, when he made the Madden cover, that was one of the Patriots' biggest trap games as they went to Cleveland and lost to the Browns when they were like 13-3, the height of the Brady era. Yeah. And they would somehow stumble against the Browns for some inexplicable reason.
I could see it being a trap game.
Yep.
But I'm still going to pick them.
Yeah. Next, we have the Arizona Cardinals traveling to the Los Angeles Rams. Rams are 6.5-point favorites. I'm going to go with the Cardinals because they've been playing tough, and now this is a divisional game. And I know Kupp is back, and Puka Nacua is doing great, but I'm gonna try and get a little weird. I like
it. But the Cardinals fucked me last week, so I'm going with the Rams.
Then we have the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the New York Jets. The Philadelphia Eagles are 6.5-point favorites. I could totally see the Jets winning this game.
I would love it.
I could see it.
Come on, Cheese.
The Eagles have not. I'm doing it for Cheese. Go Jets. Jets.
God,
cheese.
That would be like totally just going with my heart.
Yeah, CHESS. Cheese. I could see it.
Oh my God!
I probably shouldn't make that pick. I know what's going to happen, but I'm doing it anyway.
It could be a closer game than people expect.
Yep.
I'm gonna say Philly, but I hope the Jets win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I should probably reverse that pick, but you know what? I already wrote it down, so I'm sticking to it. But if the game's going one way, I'll just, I'm not going to listen back and, Then we have the New York Football Giants traveling to the Buffalo Bills, to the New York Buffalo Bills, the actual New York team. And the Bills are 14-point favorites. I don't think the Giants have a shot. Maybe with Tyrod they might, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about the extent of Jones's injury. I know it was a neck, but I haven't heard anything specific on it. Yeah, Bills at home, 14-point favorites.
Yep.
Dude, where would you go on spread with that?
It was
if you were going to make a pick against the spread, where are you going? That's a big spread.
It is big. It is big. I don't know, the Bills, I feel like I would take the Bills because I feel like they're going to be pissed coming back out of London, you know. They're going to be pissed. I just looked it up. The neck injury doesn't have a serious issue, and Dable is optimistic for week 6. Okay. So I feel like I feel better about the Bills covering if he plays. I'm just not seeing it. And Von Miller's back. He was back in London, so yeah. Like I said, I don't think the Jags really did anything that impressed me against the Bills. It was mostly the city of London.
Which they did that a couple of years ago, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
So
Yep.
Same fucking shit.
You have the Urban Meyer year. And the last game of the week. I'm sorry. That's
that was the Sunday night.
I think the people. Wait, who's playing Monday?
So actually, it's weird. What I have listed is there's only 2 teams on bye this coming week, which is Green Bay and Pittsburgh.
Yep. Okay, so Green Bay's not listed. No Pittsburgh. But
you know why? Because of the extra week, maybe. Maybe they push it out.
Yeah, but who is playing Sunday Night Football next week?
Sunday Night Football is the Bills and the Giants.
Oh, that is
the Monday night game is Dallas.
Chargers.
Yeah. Yep.
God, I'm so sick of. I get it. I get why there's always the same freaking teams on prime time, but I'm sick of seeing the Cowboys.
Preach.
Yeah. I get it, but it annoys me.
What is Herbert's health status?
He's fine. He broke a finger on his non-throwing hand.
Yeah, fuck. What the fuck? He just cut it off at this point.
Seriously, he had the bye. They'll tape it up. He'll be fine.
I'm going Chargers at home.
Ooh, I like it. I am also going to go to the Chargers.
Fuck yeah. Fuck Dallas.
Yeah, fuck them.
Fucking bums.
Fuck them.
Fuck.
Excuse me.
Fuck them. This is explicit content.
That's true.
Fuck the Cowboys. They looked great against New England. They looked like dog shit last week.
Yeah, they're like the what's them called? They're like the Dolphins.
The Dolphins of the NFC.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
So right. Yep. And again, the Green Bay and the Steelers are on a bye next week. So we'll see how this shakes out. What is the score right now? Not that it matters, but what is the score right now of this Sunday night game? The Packers still getting beat because now I'm going to go under 500.
Oh no! Packers. It is 3-10 at halftime.
Oh my God,
that's a really boring game.
Yeah,
I'm used to them. So
yeah,
I should stop. Yeah.
The Raiders are up 10-3 at half. I picked the Packers, so it looks like we'll see how it.
I'm sure it'll be fine. It is at Las Vegas, but we'll see.
So, all right, we're right in line. We're about an hour 20 every week.
Yeah, the first one was a little long because we had some extra topics at the beginning, but now we have the buys coming in. I think we're doing out a good clip here. We're starting to get the we got
the cadence down a little bit. Yeah. Yep. So I gotta add. We got the money pick. We got the Joker pick. I gotta get one for Jess's hot take. I gotta get one for maybe fantasy. And then we'll do the beer of the week one. Mm-hmm. Like, comment, share.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Yeah, and you can find them all. We listen, wherever you can listen to your podcast, you can find them. And I think we talked about we have topics for when the season's over. Give us ideas for stuff we can talk about because I would love to just have this kind of conversations. That'll be fun.
That's true. I mean, by the time this is over in February, we'll be in the thick of things with basketball.
Yeah, go Celtics. Preseason just started.
Wrestling is fucking year round.
UFC
is year round. So, there's plenty of things to talk about. And that'll bring us right into the draft. So anyway,
it's true.
I try to have these up on YouTube every Tuesday around noonish, the latest. It takes a little while, but usually Tuesday around noon. And then I think you put these up on
the
Spotify.
audio. Yeah, the audio goes up pretty quick, and
Tuesday mornings.
Yeah, Tuesday morning. Yeah, whenever you get. I mean, you gave it to me quick last week, but I didn't look at it till the next morning. Yeah, so it'll be right in line with the YouTube going up.
Gotcha. All right. So until next week.
Later. Bye. Wait a second. I just realized.
What did you just realize?
Where was the Patriots game? Are they on bye next week?
No.
As
we listen to MVP Laura's tune. This is like an added piece.
Why did I not see the Patriots game?
Oh wait, it was on there.
It was? I didn't see it. Oh, it's because they're playing the Raiders, and the Raiders are playing right now.
You're right. Okay, sorry.
I'm so sorry.
And we're back.
That's my fault. I'm the one that controls those ones, and I blew it.
You know what? So if you look at ESPN and go to the week 6, it'll show, other than that game,
that's what I'm going to do next time.
It'll show the over-under,
right.
but it'll show all the games. So
I'm picking the Raiders. Sorry, Patriots. I told you. Remember I told you I wasn't going to do I don't feel bad. I mean, I'm picking the Commanders.
Oh, yeah, get it.
Because it's over.
It's over for you, Steven. Oh, man.
The city has fallen.
But this is why, like, because they played like such fucking trash against Dallas. I thought like they were at home against the Saints. They're gonna come back. It won't be pretty, but they'll win.
Yep.
Fuck. Oh,
shouldn't have been easier
because I have such faith in Bill to turn it around, but he fucked me 2 weeks in a row.
McDaniels has his number. His ex-assistant coaches have his number.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. McDaniels is the coach. Shit. Mm-hmm. I know I don't want to delay this anymore. But shit. Fuck. I'm gonna pick the Raiders.
There we go.
I'm gonna pick the Raiders. Maybe it'll be like some reverse psychology.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah, I like that. That's what we're going with. Cue it up.
All right, we're back. And we're out.